Well, welcome back to Jenna's Tea Emporium. I was off for a week as I went to go see my parents. So I am back for episode 5. Today's topic is going to be being broken up with. I'm sure it's something majority of us have experienced in life, young, old, in the middle, everything above. So I'll just kind of start per usual with my story. I just kind of go from there. Again, hopefully I can get some more guests on here. Maybe I can get my daughter for the next one. I'm sure we can find something to talk about with her. But anyway, so being broken up with. And I'm going to mainly just talk about real grown-up relationships, not so much young. I had my first boyfriend at 16 years old. And that was actually, I want to say, I don't really remember, but I know that I broke up with him. And the reason why I broke up with him, it's so embarrassing to even say this, is because he was too nice. How horrible is that? That's that being young and immature. Yeah, I should have never broke up with him. But, live and learn. I surely got payback, that's for sure. So, I'll basically just talk about probably I think it's five or six grown-up relationships I've really had. And kind of just go from there. I'm always interested to get people's stories or input or whatever in situations like this. So I'll say my first real grown-up relationship, I think I was about 21, 22, something around there. I moved out with him. His name was Vince, and that was the first boyfriend that I lived with. And again, I'm just going to give you I'm not going to go through the whole relationship, whatever, just get you bits and pieces of it. Anyway, so he was a Jehovah's Witness. He had an ex-wife, had a kid, and there was struggles in a sense of his religion with us. But other than that, besides our different religions, everything else actually was really good. We didn't fuss, argue really like that. It was chill. And he was the first one that really was around my family, to the point that we had taken family pictures and he was in them, which is, I think, a pretty big deal. I honestly don't remember how long we were together. Maybe a year or two? I don't remember. Anyway, on to the breakup part. So I remember coming home to our apartment and coming in, and all of his stuff was gone. And I was like, WTF, what is going on? No note, no nothing. We hadn't had an argument, nothing. And I will say that was obviously my first true gut punch, horrible heartbreak. Can't eat, can't sleep. And he had taken my car. I had another car, but that car was also on my name too. Obviously he wasn't answering his phone, nothing. So I was left with no explanation, nothing, just blindsided. And then, as the days started going on and whatever, started, I was able to eventually get a hold of his ex-wife. She was basically telling me that he had tried to get back with her or whatever. Which, who am I to say it's a lie or not? It probably was the truth. He had been taking payments, like checks. This is when we did more checks back in the day. Excuse me. He was taking them out of the mail so they wouldn't get to the people to get, for our bills to get paid. I'm pretty sure I called the cops too about the car being stolen too, if I remember correctly. It's like so long ago. And yeah, so after I think about a month, I think he called me. After about a month, called me out of the blue and was down in Georgia and literally acted like nothing. Like he didn't just roll out on me out of the blue. So he ended up coming back up to Pennsylvania. I think when he got there, he got arrested, and it was like a friend of ours who was a cop that arrested him. We ended up getting back together, and it just wasn't the same. Like, it was not the same. Like, I could not obviously trust him, blah, blah, whatever. I don't think we were together much longer after that. And I remember I was at work, and I went out to my car to leave to go home, and there was a note on my car, a breakup note again. And I was just like, whatever at that point. It just wasn't obviously going to work anyway. Like I said, you could tell it just wasn't the same or whatever, whatnot. So that was the first breakup. Then I got to good old ex-husband. And there's not much with him. Like I said, I had talked about him in an earlier episode, and I actually broke up with him because of the cheating and lying and all that stuff. So we'll skip over him. After him was a guy named Michael. I'll say that we were technically together for 6 years. But this was a strange one. Like, from the very first time we met, we had been together every day from that day forward. But then we weren't like really in a relationship because he had said like he didn't like me like that, or he didn't get the tingly feelings, but we were together every day and basically being a boyfriend girlfriend. So it was just weird, but whatever. We eventually lived together. Like, him and his daughter actually moved into my home. He's pretty much a full-time single father. And there was just so much drama with his mom and his daughter. Like, so much drama. But again, great guy, honest, great with my kids. Yeah, I mean, again, had arguments or whatever, nothing crazy or whatnot. Like I said, trusted him, whatever. I didn't have to worry, like, I didn't necessarily have PTSD from my first boyfriend or my ex-husband. Because I will say, out of anybody I've been with, my ex-husband has been the worst. So it was great. After my ex-husband, I had him on the up and up. Again, like in relationships, you have ups and downs or whatever. But there was just a lot of drama with his mom and his daughter. And he was not affectionate. That is something I've really learned in that relationship, that I cannot be with somebody who's not affectionate. Like, that is my thing. I have to have affection. But you take the good with the bad, right? Like, nobody's perfect. So anyway, so basically I say we were together for 6 years, whatever. We had then ended up going on a family vacation down to North Carolina where my brother lived. It was me, my 2 kids, and then his daughter and my mom and dad. So we all went down. We ended up coming back from that vacation, and we were on the phone. God, I want to say maybe a week after we came back, or right after we came back, on the phone with him, blindsided, just broke up with me. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what? And when you're blindsided like that, you're like left to just wonder, like, what is it, right? And you start questioning yourself and thinking, like, I could see if it's, like I said, like if somebody cheats or lies or you're arguing all the time or whatever. Like I said, it wasn't like that with Vince, the first one. Obviously, my ex-husband doesn't even count. I broke up with him. With Michael, this, again, like there was arguments, but it was never to the point like a breaking up or anything like that. So again, I'm blindsided again, like, where is this even coming from? We literally just came back from a family vacation. Like, be so for real. And I guess if I remember correctly, it was mainly because of just so much crap with his mom and his daughter, and I guess he just couldn't deal with it anymore or whatever. So I was the one eliminated. And then I think a couple months after that, like, I found out, like, he was trying to get back with me or whatever, and I was just like, yeah, I'm good on that. So yeah, that was the second breakup situation. Same kind of breakup, blindsided, like, WTF, what is going on? And then I was with a gentleman that we weren't, like, there was no title, like we weren't boyfriend girlfriend. We did date exclusively or whatever. And I will say, that probably was when I was at the most peaceful in my life. Like, he truly treated me so damn good. Like, so good. Like, how I know I should be treated type of thing. Not saying that anybody was, like, bad or anything. I mean, besides my ex-husband. But, like, the way he treated me and the way he made me felt, like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't even know what to do. Like, it was just like, whoa. But yeah, like, I mean, I would literally, like, I used to just say, like, he would plan trips. Like, I just have to show up, right? Show up, be cute, do me. Yeah, like, really, I guess maybe the word was really much an alpha male, like, type of situation, what it was. And I obviously wasn't used to that. But yeah, the best time. Like, I'm so grateful that I got to experience that. Like, I hope that that's not the only thing I get to experience. Like, my life was just with him. Great experience or whatever. So anyway, that never really, like, it was never like any traumatic, like, breakup or anything. Like I said, we had just dated exclusively, whatever. Then I was with a guy by the name of Idris. And again, we didn't have a title either. We were more dating exclusively. I had actually known his cousin. I had actually worked with his cousin. So I had known him way before we had ever dated each other. Funny irony thing of the situation, his mom actually knew my ex-husband. Yeah, so I had known of him for a very long time. But he actually, we had actually dated or went on a date before I was with my ex, Michael. And then he ended up going to jail. So that's when I had got with Michael. And then while Idris is in jail, I obviously didn't talk to him. But when me and Michael broke up, the irony and crazy part about it is Idris had literally hit me up, God, probably a couple weeks after we had broke up, which was so creepy to me. I don't know. I just feel like that was God. That was God. I don't know what else that was, because nobody knew I had been broken up with, or especially not him, because I had talked to him when he was in jail, because Michael had an issue with me even being friends with him. So I just stopped communication out of respect or whatever. So anyway, he was in jail, had hit me up, and so I would go up and see him in jail and would spend like the weekend there or whatnot. And so we just got really, really close. Obviously, again, when you're just dealing with letters and phone calls or whatever, you really get to know somebody like on a deep soul connection. And I'd already known him before he had went in there anyway. So that was about a year, I think, before he had gotten out. And I'd always said, like, when he comes home, I'm not gonna I'm gonna be your girlfriend, blah, whatever. Like, you gotta get acclimated back into society. I think he was in there for 7.5 years, something like that. So there was never like, oh, we're gonna be together, I'm gonna be your girlfriend, whatever. It wasn't that type of thing. It was just like, you'll come back home, we'll date exclusively, see where this goes, whatnot. And so he got out in March. Everything was great. again, I think that probably was the deepest true love I had had so far since then. Because we had such a deep soul connection. Like again, and not to be TMI, but I had never been made to love. Like I've never had love. Wow, can I speak? I've never been made love to. Is that right? Yeah, like him, and just like when you look into his eyes, like it was just craziness. Again, I never had experienced that deep of a connection and love or whatever with him either. Anyway, so got him in March, and then December of the same year. Once again, blindsided, pretty sure it was a phone call where he said, we need to take a break. And I'm like, a break? What break do we need to take? Because first of all, again, we weren't like boyfriend, girlfriend. We didn't have a title, but we were dating exclusively. And I was like, a break? You mean you just don't want to talk to me anymore? Like, there's no such thing as a break. And when I tell you, yeah, devastated again. It was just like, I think it was on even a deeper next level than for my very first boyfriend, because I was, again, so deeply in love with him. And actually he then ended up, we had obviously, when he was in jail, there was so much stuff sent to me, like letters. Like I had a stack of letters. Like he had things made for me, like all kinds of stuff. And then just stuff he had given me in the months that we had been together. So just a little blurb. Well, I was out with my girlfriend and their husbands downtown, and I had actually run into his brother, and I just had a feeling he was going to end up showing up. And he showed up with this girl, whatever, that was actually a teacher at the school that my kids also went to too. And when I tell you devastated, like we weren't even together, right? So he could do what he wanted to do. But it was like funny when I saw his face, it was like he looked at me like he had been caught, right? When we weren't even together. But I don't know, maybe it was just the guilt he felt. I don't know. But when I tell you had a full-on anxiety, panic attack, like we ended up leaving, like going home. Like my girlfriend was like, are you okay to drive home? Like I had a full-on breakdown. Just so heartbroken, so devastated. And I actually went home that day and literally threw all the shit away that he had ever gotten me. Like all the letters we had, just everything. I recently just told him that, like I think last year or whatever. So yeah, that was that. Once again, blindsided out of nowhere, completely heartbroken, devastated. And again, questioning myself, like, what is it with me? Like, and again, left with having trying to figure out, like, is this something I've done, whatever. Like, again, I don't know if other people do that or whatever. Like, I'm okay with taking accountability for things, right? So it's like, I was like, what is going on? Like, and then you just start running down, like, coming up with your own conclusions, right? I had come up with the conclusion where I was like, I don't think he had ever truly been loved the way I loved him. Like he was used to people just wanting to use him for his money and stuff, and that it scared him. Like I said it to him. He said that wasn't the reason. I forget what his reasoning was on it. I don't remember, but that was the conclusion I came up with. I think he told me like last year, because I still had contact here and there with him. So yeah, you start to just wonder, like, what is it about you? What's the problem? And you can go down that dark rabbit hole real quick. Because again, I'm very much hold myself accountable, right? Like if there's something I'm doing that I need to work on or whatever, I'm more than okay with doing that, right? I'm far from perfect. I mean, I think I'm a damn good husband and wife. A damn good wife and girlfriend, whatever, damn. But again, that doesn't mean that you can't grow, right? And every person is different, and when you're with somebody, everybody's different, right? So meshing them together, you have to learn that person, so on and so forth. So I'm very self-aware and very much okay with being holding myself accountable. But yeah, when you get blindsided like this one after another, you really start to go down that rabbit hole and be like, what is wrong with me? So then on to the last relationship I had been in. I had met him actually through work. I actually was his boss. And he would like drop hints or whatever like that. He said I played hard to get. I'm like, whatever. I just keep it professional, whatever. Plus, in the line of business he's a truck driver. So, like, the running joke was like, hoes in every zip code type of situation. But I was literally running him through, I guess running them through girls, if that's what you want to call it. Like, oh, you want to go see somebody here in freaking Pennsylvania, or you want to go see somebody here in Washington and somebody in California. Like, I had him going everywhere, right? And again, but I respected it because he wasn't in a relationship with anybody. These girls knew what the situation was and they was fine with it or whatever. So we would just joke about it and be sarcastic about it. It didn't bother me. And so actually I ended up having to fire him. And it was like the day I fired him, we started talking like that day. And we had been basically talking to each other every day, all day from that point on. He actually had come and stayed with me too for a couple months, which is a big deal for me because I don't have people around my kids, let alone people in my house. I mean, if we're being for real, I mean, my kids have had, besides him, I think the one that I was with for 6 years, that's probably the only person, because they're not going to remember their dad. That's the only other, I think, man that's actually been, like, in our household, in my bed type of situation. Like, I don't play that stuff. I don't just have a revolving door of men around my kids. So it was huge. So, obviously, he came and stayed with us, very respectful. Like, again, my girls didn't have an issue with him or whatever. Taya really doesn't give a crap, my oldest one. My youngest and him actually got, like kind of bonded, connected, I guess you would say, or whatever, over basketball, because he played basketball in college too. So, but our relationship had been basically a long distance relationship because he was out on the road or whatever. So it was basically all phone. I did see him here and there, but not a lot. And then after he lived with me and he went and got another job, they were based out of Colorado. So that was strictly long distance, just phone. Did not see him. It had been 10.5 months since I had seen him. And again, we'd have little tiffs here and there, whatever. Again, nothing crazy. Because you want to say there's a type with me, the type that I usually end up getting with is somebody who's like very chill. Not to say that like I'm hyper and high strung or whatever, but obviously I'm more talkative or whatnot. And usually if you look at the men that I've been with, they are definitely very chill, laid back type of people. The yin and the yang, as they say. So that's how he was too. Just funny, always had me laughing or whatever. But it is hard. It is hard to be in a long distance relationship and not see the person in that sense. I had been in a long distance relationship before, but I saw him like once a month or whatever. You know what I mean? And it makes it great. Him, did not see. So it had been about 10.5 months. I had not seen him. And we had gotten like a small tiff or whatever, because I think I was irritated about repeating myself. Like I have a thing about repeating myself. And I got irritated about having to repeat myself because I was like, damn, do you even listen to me or whatever? And I think he had we ended up getting off the phone. He might have even hung up on me. I don't remember. But we got off the phone. It was not a good end of like us hanging, the conversation ending. And I remember the next day I was at my part-time job and literally got a text message. I've actually made a TikTok about it. I actually screenshot it and put it on my TikTok. Got a breakup text message from him. Once again, blindsided. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't even, like, what? And like, I literally, because of this has happened now, 3 times, that me and him used to laugh and joke about it, but like, very much, I can be very numb and very much wall up, guard up because of the PTSD from just being blindsided, broken up with. I probably should go to counseling to deal with that and work with it, because I can very much turn myself off of like a light switch, and it's probably not the best thing. But after this now had happened with him, I was just like, I don't even know what to do. Like, it got to the point where I had actually called Idris, the one that we had dated, and some guy I had used to talk to, I was just like, yo, please just be 100% honest with me. Like, if it is me, tell me what it is about me that this keeps happening to me over and over again. Like, what do I need to change? What do I need to work on? Like, I'm dead ass when I say, I was like, I need you to be 100% honest with me. I don't care. Like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Because that's what I said. I will definitely hold myself accountable if there's something I need to work on. And they were just like, it's not you. Like, even the one that I dated that blindsided me, he was like, it's not you. He was like, you're a great woman. You know what I mean? You do this, you do that. It's not you. And I was just like, I don't even know if I could, I mean, I know I cried, but it was just like, I instantly became so numb again. It was like I was waiting for it to happen. You know what I mean? Because we had actually had a conversation because that he had kind of helped me decide about moving here to Texas. And I remember we were talking one day on the phone and I was like, dude, I need to know like about, we're looking for a place, like what time frame are we thinking about, whatever. And I remember I felt like there was a shift in him that day. I had that conversation with him and something with him was not right. And I remember I came home and I just told my oldest, I was like, yeah, I need to start looking for a place that I can afford by myself because something just didn't feel right. And sure enough, the rug pulled out from underneath me, blindsided once again by a text message. And I was obviously devastated, but I felt like I was just numb too, all in the same sentence, if that makes sense. And I'm just like, because I swear I think we had a conversation, me and him, about me constantly being blindsided, broken up with it, and then it was like 2 weeks later he did that. So, yeah, that's where we are. Where out of the relationships I've been with, I've been broken up with, just blindsided, and I don't understand why. You know what I mean? Like I said, you start to just really come up with your own conclusions or whatever, and your own thoughts, and so on and so forth. And you just start to wonder, like, why? You know, what is it? And obviously every guy is different, so you can't say it's just across the board, this reason or that reason or whatever. And the thing of it is too, I am not the type of female where I like hate these people. Like, I will say the only person I have a lot of like hardcore, strong dislike feelings, I mean, I hate saying the word hate, but is honestly my ex-husband. And I was literally with him for like 2.5 years. But like my very first boyfriend, Vince, I've talked to him. I mean, it's been quite a few years since I've talked to him, but he has since apologized to me, told me he should have never broke up with me. I was the best thing that had ever happened to me. And this is me, like, the honest. Because I just don't have, there's no reason for me to hate you. I mean, obviously I accepted his apology, and of course I was a smart ass. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have, right? My ex-husband's always trying to get back with me still. Whatever. Michael has actually gotten married, and he says, you know, my wife, whatever, owes you for, you know, you helping me work on being more affectionate and so on and so forth. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that I could make that better for somebody else. So, you know, good terms with him or whatever. Like I had said with Idris, you know, and even the other one that I had dated exclusively, like, they're still in my life. Like, I don't, you know, I don't hate them, blah, blah, whatever. I'm just not that type of person again. And not to say that I'm better than other people, but I just don't have that hate towards them. You know what I mean? If I saw them, I'd hug them. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Type of situation. That's just how I am. It didn't work out, right? So it didn't work out. It didn't work out for a reason. You learn from it or whatever, and you kind of just move on. You know what I mean? I always wish them the best, want the best for them, so on and so forth. But I will legit say, like, none of them have ever, like, had anything bad to say about me. You know what I mean? And it's like, then you really start to be like, well, WTF? Like, if there's something bad to me, well, why? Why do I keep getting broken up with? So, but again, it's a learning experience. I kind of actually talk to my kids, you know, and kind of give them advice, and as I, obviously, because with me being older, and they're going to go through their own situations with breakups and so on and so forth, because it's life, you know, life be lifing. and that's a part of life. So I'm able to, have those conversations, and I'm very much able to be, I don't pick and choose sides. Like, there's been times where I've told my oldest, okay, you're wrong in that situation, or same thing with my youngest, whatever, right? When they're in relationships with people, I don't, I'm not always like, oh, my kid's the right one. No, I don't do that. I very much, the middle ground with that, and wrong is wrong and right is right, right? So, I'm grateful to be able to have had these experiences, to also, help my daughters or whatever. But again, it sucks. I'm not going to lie. It really sucks ass. I love being in love. I'm very much like, when I'm with it, when I'm in with you, I'm 150% in with you. Because I just love love. Like, I love love for everybody. Like, everybody should be able to be in love and have somebody there and blah, whatever. So, again, it's interesting, people's breakup stories. Like, I will say, like I said, the worst one, I think, in the sense of, they were all traumatic, but I will say the one with my ex-husband was, and I broke up with him, was, next level. But I probably should, I feel everybody needs therapy. And because I always say, like, oh, I've dealt with it, I'm good, blah, whatever. But I can guarantee I have PTSD for sure, and trauma, and there's definitely triggers. And I actually try to tell the next person that I'm with, like, about stuff that's happened to me, so you're fully aware and you're not guessing, type of situation. But, yeah, I probably should eventually maybe go talk to somebody and deal with that. Because it's just like, it's a fear of, like, is it going to happen again? You know what I mean? Type of situation. It's like, how do you work through that? So I probably should take my own advice and maybe go and get some counseling on that. So anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm sure we've all had breakups. We've all experienced it. Once again, like I always say, go to my page, subscribe, like this video, whatever, leave comments or whatever, you can even give me your own advice to why you think that's happened to me time and time again. And yeah, so that was today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully soon I'll be able to have, like, another guest on. Like I said, maybe I should get my oldest daughter on, since I already have my youngest. I'll think about that and figure out what we want to talk about, and whatnot. So yeah, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. And I guess my tagline will be, what do I say? Do not induce wow, I really am having a hell of a time speaking today. Jiminy Christmas. Do not introduce me to a vibe you cannot maintain. All right. Thanks. Bye.